with the mechanics of the balloon catheter, I want you to have a good setup for your lab and how you're going to work with this. And it's very important that you have 3 sets of gloves for both hands, something to put your lubrication on, as well as having your balloon, the stopcock, and the syringe available. The reason that we're using 3 sets of gloves is the first thing that you're going to do before you ever insert the balloon catheter is do a rectal exam to find out, 1, are they holding stool in their rectum, and 2, which direction your finger goes to avoid the muscle shelf so you don't jam the tube of the catheter into the muscle shelf. So you'll be doing a rectal exam first before you do anything else. After the rectal exam, you take off your first set of gloves. Now you're onto your second set of gloves, and it's time to put the condom over the catheter, put it into the lube, raise up their gluteal cheek, and insert the catheter in. Once you finish and you get the catheter completely inserted in, you're going to want to remove this pair of gloves. Now you have clean, dry gloves to be handling the syringe and the stopcock while you're actually doing the modality of the balloon catheter training. So this section is to show you the mechanics of the balloon catheter. It's important that you understand and play with and realize what happens with the balloon as you manipulate the syringe and the stopcock, because you will not be able to see the balloon once it's in the client. So if you're ordering your balloon catheters from Canada, they're going to come in packages like this, and the balloon itself and the stopcock will be inside. The syringe is going to come in a package like so, and it'll have a little screw tip on the end of it so that it can interface with the stopcock. So when you get the balloon and the stopcock, just pull it out and screw the stopcock onto the edge of the balloon here, and take off any plastic nubbies that may be in the 2 open ports. And you can leave the switch on the off position here. Take the syringe and just roll it, screw it right onto the stopcock. So now you have a mechanism ready to go. So in this position, you'll notice that the off switch is pointing towards the balloon, the tube of the balloon. And that means that there's air that can come through this extra port over here that we'll call port 2. If the balloon is locked in this position, I can pull the syringe all the way back and not affect the balloon. You can see that the balloon is still deflated. And I can push air all the way into the syringe and not affect the balloon. So effectively, that balloon is locked in whatever position we have it locked in. So in order to put air into the balloon, I'm going to keep the balloon locked and move the syringe back to 60 cc's air. And I'm going to move the stopcock to the off position at port 2. Now that means that I'm going to be able to push air into the tube of the balloon, and you'll see the balloon filling up. Okay, I can also pull the air out of the balloon just as easily, because remember, the switch is on port 2, which allows air to flow easily back and forth from the syringe to the balloon. So when you're working with somebody and you're starting to fill it up and you need to add more air into the balloon, you just need to switch back and forth from this position to locking the balloon to be able to put more air in the syringe. So I'll demonstrate that now. We're going to push 60 cc's of air into the balloon. Good. And I want to put more in. So I'm going to lock the balloon so I can draw the syringe back without affecting the balloon, unlock the balloon, and begin to add more air. And you can see the balloon is getting fatter. Okay? When you get ready, you find the top urge point for them and you get ready to deflate the balloon. You can just keep, the air can come out. So when you have the balloon, you're ready to bring the next 60 out, you need to lock the balloon so that you can actually push the syringe all the way back in, unlock the balloon, and continue to allow the air to draw out of the balloon all the way down. Good. Now, When you get these balloons out of the package the very first time, they're not going to be as deflated as this balloon is. So one of the things that you're going to want to do, I'm going to actually show you what the balloon looks like when it comes in the package. It's going to have, oops, let me unlock it. It's going to have a little bit of air in it, like so. And the syringe will be closed. So you have your syringe off like this. So this is how the balloon will come out of the package. And one of the things that you want to think about with this is that we want to really be sure before we insert the balloon in anybody that we deflate it all the way. Because you can see the tube of the balloon is much smaller than my finger, which you would do a rectal exam with. But if we have air in this balloon, it's going to be very difficult to press it through, because remember, air is not compressible. So it's going to be hard to push this through the anal canal. So one of the things that you want to do is you want to deflate that balloon right away. So keep the syringe closed, dial it into the tube. Make sure the balloon is not locked, so you're going to open the balloon by sending the switch to port 2, and you're just going to draw some air back. You see that balloon deflate all the way there? It deflates all the way down. So draw some air off and then lock the balloon, and now you're ready to kind of pull this all the way back here to get started after you insert the balloon, because the balloon is effectively locked now and it's completely deflated, and you can see that that's going to be easy to insert. Once you have it in this position, then you're going to slide the condom down over the whole balloon as well as the tube. And you're going to be inserting the balloon into the rectum through the anal canal to the edge of the condom. So just a little bit of the ring of the condom is going to be sticking out of the EAS when you get through inserting it in. Remember, we want the balloon up above the muscle shelf, if this was your muscle shelf here, so that the sensory piece that it's only picking up are the pressure receptors of the rectum, and it's not down here in the initial phases in the anal canal. This part we'll be doing a little bit later when we talk about training the opening and the wave peristalsis effect of the internal and external sphincter.